This is Lauren Fogelman at expertsportsperformance.com, working with highly driven, motivated athletes on having more focus, confidence, the ability to effectively deal with distractions when competing for consistent high performance. Today's topic is unraveling the Oregon Ducks' hurry-up offense. So what makes their offense so brilliant and out of the box? That it's throwing off everybody's game, and you're seeing changes beginning to happen. In fact, we are watching history change and unravel right before our eyes. It all comes down to the hurry-up offense that Chip Kelly, head coach of the Oregon Ducks football team, has been bringing into play. He's been refining it, and one of the things that's really great about it, ingenious, is that he stepped out of the box, and really need to congratulate him for doing something that's totally different from what everybody else has been doing, and it's pushing the envelope. Bottom line is he's brought in some innovation, strategy, and resourcefulness to be able to look at what's working, what's not working, and to come up with a better way. And that's really what the hurry-up offense is basically a better way. As far as the innovation goes, is he's gone ahead and looked at how all the different components of football come into play, what part works, what part really doesn't work but is being done anyway, and to tighten it up so that he's really put all the emphasis on what needs to happen in order to move the game forward. The strategy is by looking at how to approach his goal, which is speed and yardage, from a different approach and direction that everybody else has been doing. Instead of just doing things just because everybody else is, what can he do that might be a little bit different and maybe pull from some other sports, business models, wherever the strategies are that's going to inspire him to be able to take out the fluff, the unnecessary stuff, and tighten it up a lot. The third part is the resourcefulness. The resourcefulness is by looking out of the box at what is working, what isn't working, and then creating a different approach that's going to help to be able to improve communication, which he's doing with the cards, and be able to get the job done, but in a way that really keeps the advantage in their hands, the offensive hand, as opposed to giving the defense that rest by having that huddle. The bottom line is the huddle gives the defense a rest, it lets them change out players, and it takes away from the advantage that the offensive line has when they have the possession of the ball. So he's come up with a user-friendly model that has been designed to work and is easy to grasp. And what I really want to do is focus on what some of the components are that are right here that helps to make the hurry-up offense so brilliant. So let's get started. The first part is that it's simple. He's really looked at all the different parts of his offensive strategy and nailed it down to two things. It has to do with speed and yardage. If he's able to bring things in that improve speed as well as yardage, then let's put it into play. Everything else we need to get rid of. That's why the huddle is out of there. After that, surprise element. The defensive line on the other team, they haven't been trained for this strategy and this approach. So what happens is all of what they know kind of goes out the window. That makes them go into the head a lot more than they normally would. It slows them down. When you think too much, you're slowing down because you just can't think and have your body respond at the same speed. Going into your head, using your brain, slows down performance. So that surprise element, because they haven't trained for it yet, even though there is a way to train for it, but nobody's doing it yet, they have to get up to speed. It will eventually happen. I'm starting to talk to some coaches about it, and I can't wait to see it put into play. After that, it's really, really solid. Bottom line is by having his strategy come around just speed and yardage, he's come up with a concrete mission, and his whole team can really rally behind that. So having it be simple and solid is a key piece as to why it works. Next, success. It works. You can just look at the numbers there's a great return on the investment of following this strategy. He gains yardage. He has had a great winning season, only losing one game this entire season. The bottom line is that he's tried something, stepped out of the box, tightened up an approach, and it's just leading to more wins for him. Next. Survival. Okay, what you're going to see here is the early adopters, the coaches from other teams are watching him. The early adopters, they're going to start to unravel or figure out what he is doing, what he isn't doing, and how they can bring it into their offense so that they're having the same results. So it's really about survival of the fittest here. That's going to start to come into play, and watch those early adopters. They're already doing it, and they're starting to really tap into what's going on and how they can bring it into their team's offensive line. Scrutiny. There's a lot being said about the hurry-up offense. Does it work? Doesn't it work? Why it shouldn't work? Criticism as well as applause. And that's okay. The bottom line is that he's getting people to think, being able to challenge the usual and customary, and look at maybe the fact that there's a better way. So people don't like change, and that's why there's so much scrutiny around it. People are talking about it, but boy, isn't it when you talk about something that it's a sign of success? So it's going to continue to happen and move on down the road. Eventually, give it a couple years, you're going to see it in Pop Warner. The bottom line is it's easy to follow, and there's a framework. The fact that he's improved communication, he's speeded up the process, and the cards are brilliant that he uses. People just have to crack the code, and whether they do or not, it doesn't matter because he can change the code. And the team members, the teammates, they're just going to learn the new code, so that part can continue to change over and over again. It doesn't really make that much difference. And the one thing is, look at the coaches that are going to be the last to follow, because there's going to be something coming into play with them subconsciously. They don't even realize what they're going to be doing. Bottom line is those diehards are going to end up realizing that they're kind of late getting on board. So they're going to have what's called loss aversion, which means that they're going to try to stick to what they know, and they're going to be even more committed to what they're doing and dig their heels in and saying that this other stuff doesn't work, even though everybody else is getting on board, because they're going to try and cut their losses. However, the more that they stick to what they know and they refuse to change over to this new approach, they're going to create their own elimination and extinction, because the bottom line is the business of football is all about scoring and winning. If you're not doing that, you're eventually going to be out of the game. So watch those coaches that are the early adopters, because they're playing to win, and watch those coaches which are digging their heels in and trying to cut their losses and being really critical, because eventually they're going to be extinct. So the challenge for you is, what is it about your approach that really, if you eliminated it, it probably would streamline things and improve your performance down the road? What would that be for you? And if those parts of your game were out of it, you didn't need those parts anymore, and you were more efficient in your approach, how would that change things for you? And what would you need to modify in order to put that new strategy into play? I'd love to hear what you come up with, what you're thinking about that would work for you, so that maybe we can play with it a little bit and tighten it up, and let's give it a try, because it's about that innovation, strategy, resourcefulness that's going to make the change and really going to give you that edge where everybody else is going to say, what is going on here? And you're going to be the one to watch. Go ahead and post a comment. Let me know what you've taken away from this. Feel free to click the Facebook likes and pass it forward. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see you click those Facebook likes. And my mission is to help you stay cool when the heat is on. Lauren Fogelman, ExpertSportsPerformance.com.